Hello and welcome to Photosynthetic Light Reactions by Kristofer Medina. Photosynthesis is a reaction carried out by plant cells in order to create glucose for the plant's energetic needs, like the ability to and necessity of growing, the ability to grow energy-expensive flowers and energy-expensive fruit, to protect their seeds, and to be pollinated by insects and animals. The reaction equation is as follows: 6CO2 plus 6H2O equals C6H12O6 plus 6O2. Put simply, this is carbon dioxide plus water equals glucose plus oxygen. Plants take carbon dioxide from the air around them, water from the ground, and use these components to fulfill their photosynthetic reactions, creating sweet nectar to attract insects and animals, ATP energy for the plant to continue living, growing, and carrying out photosynthesis, and as a byproduct, they release oxygen, which just so happens to be very good for us. Before we get into the process of how photosynthetic light reactions are carried out, we must first discuss the key players within the reaction that allow them to work. First, photons. Photons come from light. They are made of light. Photons are particles. These particles travel in energy waves, and these waves are a gradient of energy levels that appear visually in different colors. Plants use certain colors of light to carry out their light reactions, mostly red, blue, and violet. We all know that photosynthesis is only possible in plants because they contain an organelle in animal cells that animal cells don't have, and that's the chloroplast. Chloroplasts are where photosynthetic light reactions take place in plant cells. There are many chloroplasts within a plant cell. Inside of chloroplasts, there are small interconnected discs called thylakoids. And the thylakoids are stacked in complexes called granum. The thylakoids are where the photosynthetic light reactions take place within the chloroplast. Thylakoids contain a very important part of what makes photosynthetic light reactions possible, and that is the photosystem. The photosystem is a chain of proteins and pigments along the thylakoid membrane within the chloroplast. The pigments are what absorb certain colors of light that are most useful to the plant to carry out the necessary reaction. These pigments include chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, and carotenoid pigments. When pigments and chlorophylls are excited by photons, they're raised to an excited state where one electron is moved to a higher energy level within the atom. There are 300 to 400 chlorophylls within photosystems, along with other pigments. There are two photosystems, photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. The reaction begins in photosystem 2, where the absorbed light energy is passed to a central point called the reaction center, where there is a special pair of chlorophyll A molecules. These molecules can lose an electron and pass that electron down an electron transport chain. Along this electron transport chain, the electron is moving from a higher to lower level of energy, meaning that it releases energy along the way down. Some of this lost electron energy is used by the chloroplast to pump protons from the outside of the thylakoid membrane, or the stroma, to the inside of the thylakoid, or the lumen. The electron being passed along then arrives at photosystem 1, where there exists a primary electron acceptor, another special pair of chlorophyll A molecules. This acceptor then passes the electron down yet another piece of the electron transport chain, where it ultimately is transferred to a protein called NADP plus reductase, and then to an electron carrier called simply NADP plus, which then makes, using the electron, NADPH, which is a key molecule in the Calvin cycle, the next step of photosynthesis, which is the producer of glucose and ATP for the plant. And that is how light reactions in photosynthesis happen. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned a little something about photosynthetic light reactions. Have a nice day.
her hair. Love seemed to